Hi guys, my name's Vanessa Smedley and I'm a painter. Today we are going to paint this nice little snowy scene because 'tis the season. I mean, not here in Oklahoma because we don't get very much snow, but I mean, you never know. Sometimes in February it does. So, let's do this! Here are the materials that I've used. You can either pause and screenshot or they're listed in the description for you. I'm going to start out by using masking fluid to mask out these birch trees. So just don't forget to dip your cheap brush into liquid dish soap before you dip it into the masking fluid or you will ruin your brush. While I'm letting that dry, I mix up some Cerulean Blue and some Payne's Gray with a little bit of Hooker's Green mixed in. I've allowed that masking fluid to dry completely. I usually let it dry for at least 30 minutes just to make sure. And now I'm wetting the background with a Hake Brush just to get the sky in there and then some of these background trees. So into the wet background, I'm painting Cerulean Blue and I'm making sure to paint around the little cottage because it is all white. And then I begin to drop in that Payne's Gray and Hooker's Green mix. And really I've just used a lot of Payne's Gray to make it recede into the background more, because if you use a cooler color like that, it just helps push it farther into the background. Then I add in just a little bit of burnt umber for some variation. And here I'm going to mix two different mixes using burnt umber and Payne's Gray. One of them is going to be more on the brown side and one of them is going to be a little darker and more Payne's Gray. The background is still wet, so I'm just adding in these two different browns that I've mixed and letting them flow together. Then I use a store card that I've cut in half to scrape some more texture into this area. Then I sprinkle in a little bit of table salt to add some foliage texture. Then I'm going to mix up my colors for the snow. So I've got Cerulean Blue and Alizarin Crimson here, and then I'm using the same two colors, but I'm making it a little bit warmer by adding more Alizarin Crimson. Then I wet the entire area that's supposed to be the snow on the roof here, and then I'm adding in some of the cooler of the two snow mixes. Then on the side of the house that's in the shade, I add some nice watery Payne's Gray. Then I'm wetting the entire area here on this, what it looks like to me is like a riverbed that's frozen over, but I'm not really sure because I didn't take this photo. I don't know why some of these photographers on Pixabay won't tell you where their photograph is located, but I could really wish that they would. And then I'm just adding in the cooler mix of my snow mixtures and letting it spread. Then I add in my Payne's Gray and Hooker's Green mix to add a little bit of ice here at the bottom, and then sprinkle a little bit of table salt in for some texture. I've let all of that on the right completely dry, and now I'm coming back in and I'm wetting this left bank of snow. Now there is a lot of different colors on this side. This is where most of the sun is hitting. So you'll see a little bit of the Naples Yellow, you'll see a little bit of the warmer of the purples, you'll see a little bit of the cooler of the purples, all of that in here. Then I'm lifting some of it out where I got a little bit heavy-handed and I'm just letting the rest of it spread. Then we let that one dry completely. And time to remove this masking fluid, and I'm just using a rubber cement eraser to get it off. It's very, very easy to remove that way. Just dry brushing in a little bit of texture on the side of the house. You know, the little spots where it's kind of melted and falling off the house. That's what we're doing here. So you'll notice from the original picture that I decided to simplify a lot of this. There were just a lot of trees blocking the house. There was a lot of bushes. There was a lot of like little outbuildings and different things like that. I really just simplified a lot of it. And so I'm adding in some bushes and things to kind of like cover the areas of the house that I can't see what's going on with because I took some trees out. And then I'm going to be adding in some bushes before it gets to the tree line, stuff like that. I'm just wetting these trunks first, and then I'm dropping a little bit of Payne's Gray on the left side for the shadow side, and just letting it spread. Then I take some very dark Payne's Gray mixed with burnt umber. This one's mostly Payne's Gray, and add in this very dark tree right here. Now, I had saved a little bit of that white for the snow-covered parts of the branches, and I'm just painting the dark part of the branch underneath that. Just adding in some darker details on the shadow side of these little guys here. And this is adding in some of that birch texture as well. I'm making this area behind the house a little bit darker, just using the same color that I did initially, because it feels like it needed just a little bit more contrast. That's going to help the house stand out just a little bit more. And I'm coming back in and darkening up and adding more details to these little birch trees. So I'm using a darker Payne's Gray, and then I'm using some burnt umber to add in some brown patches as well. Because aside from the house, these guys are very much a point of interest. And I prepare some burnt sienna for these little sticky bushy things in the corner, and begin adding those little guys in. I'm just using quick strokes, kind of like grass. I really don't know if these are reeds or sticks or bushes or what they are, but they're very straight and kind of spiky. So I'm just adding those guys in with the burnt sienna, and then I'm adding in some darker areas with burnt umber. So here I dropped my flippin' brush and it came out with two great big blobs of color, but luckily a shop towel took it right out. Kind of simplified the tree line a little bit too much, so here I'm just adding in some kind of bushes and brush and stuff like that in front of the line of trees in the back. Now it's time to add some definition into the snowbank here. So I'm using my cooler of the purples, and then I'm just adding in the darkest parts of the shadows, and then using clear water to spread that out, adding in some of the redder of the two, adding in a little bit more yellow. Get carried away with the yellow, take a little bit of the yellow out, you know, just that's the way it goes. There are billions and billions of little tree branches in the back of this thing on the left side behind these birches. So I'm going to simplify that quite a bit. I'm going to put a lot of them in there, but I'm definitely not putting in the bajillions and bajillions of them that are in there. That would just be complete overkill and it would take over the whole painting. So I'm putting in a few branches behind here, but I'm not putting in as many as there would be. Felt like I got a little heavy-handed with some of the different colors in here, so I'm actually using clean water to scrub a little bit of it out, especially the yellow areas, because we don't want this to look like yellow snow, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Now I'm using a little bit of white gouache straight out of the tube to add just a little bit of detail and a little bit more snow here and there where it needs it. And here's the finished product, all signed and dried and with the tape removed, so that you can actually see what it looks like. Because, I mean, really, the tape is way too distracting to be able to see what the finished product looks like. And it always looks so much cleaner once you get that tape off. And there you have it, a nice little snowy scene. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, because that's how this channel gets to grow. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.